everyone, today I'm going to show you how I get rid of stickiness on dolls. This is actually a question I have gotten so much recently, but it's come up since I started my channel. Why is my doll sticky? Why is her face sticky? Why are her legs sticky? Why is her hair sticky? Why are her accessories sticky? These are happening on dolls that aren't affected by glue seepage. That's a whole different issue that I have a video on too, but these are dolls that are older that wouldn't have glue or aren't made by Mattel, and it's also happening to accessories and other body parts. What is this? Why are they sticky? Well, the answer is simple. Your doll is starting to break down. Plastic, like anything else, will age, and as it gets older it starts to break apart, and this, I believe it's called plasticizer, will leach out of the doll and it makes a sticky residue. And this doesn't often clean up with just soap and water or baking soda. So this video is for dolls that need kind of that extra step. I have some dolls made by Kidcore to show. So who can this happen on? Any doll from any make. If they are of like that same kind of vinyl, rubber, ABS plastic composition, this will happen. So it tends to happen on the vinyl, like rubbery heads, and on rubbery bend and snap legs. You're not going to see it on ABS plastic or like that hollow stuff. At least I haven't seen it. And it can also happen on rubbery accessories and also their hair. You're going to see this mostly on dolls that are like 20 years and older, but it can also happen on newer dolls. It depends on how they're kept. It doesn't necessarily mean that you've taken bad care of your doll. It can happen arbitrarily, really, but it is most common on dolls that are older or that were kept boxed. So because dolls in boxes don't have like fresh air getting through, and say like it gets really hot in the summer, it's going to be extra hot in their box. They don't have ventilation. So that can accelerate the like breakdown of the plastic. But don't worry, this can be solved. And even if your doll has started doing this, you can like pretty much slow it down so you're not seeing any stickiness or you're hardly seeing it. So all you're going to need is some kind of oxygen-based cleaner, like OxiClean. This is the dollar store version of OxiClean. And a lot of people who watched my glue leakage tutorial were like, they don't sell OxiClean in my country. If you just Google oxygen-based cleaner in whatever country you're in, you're going to find like tons of different examples. Its active ingredient is hydrogen peroxide, I believe, and that's what causes it to, foam. That is what takes care of the stickiness. Now, I have tried a few other techniques in the past, like isopropyl alcohol, also known as rubbing alcohol. I used to wipe down my dolls with sticky faces and legs, and that could help sometimes, but I did read online through doing a lot of research that that can make the plasticizer leach out more. I did it for many years and never saw that happen. If anything, I just saw my doll slowly improve, but I don't recommend doing that long term because the alcohol is pretty harsh, and over time it will kind of eat up at the sealer on your doll's face paint. I mean, you can go to town on like their accessories or their rubbery legs. It's probably not going to do anything, but just be wary on painted areas. You don't want to like do it too much, especially if you have repainted your doll or customized a doll and they're sticky. Don't use isopropyl alcohol. It will remove any paint you added. You can also put your doll in like baking soda or cornstarch or baby powder to absorb the excess oils, but I just find that this is a little bit more effective. It seems to work longer term, and you can kind of just like leave it to sit and then wash it off. So I'm going to show you the dolls. So my sister and I recently bought 2 sets of these fast food fun Kidcore dolls off eBay, and they were not taken the best care of. They were in moldy boxes. 3 of them were totally fine. They're not sticky at all, but 3 of them, the 2 Jodies and this Katie, are super sticky. Like if I touch her face, there's like tackiness. Same with this Jodie, same with this Jodie, and it's actually leaving like a tackiness on my hands. It's really, really disgusting. It's all on the back of the necks too. I think it's even causing some hair color to transfer on them. So we're going to take care of that. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is just wash my dolls as usual. I'm going to use dish soap and baking soda. I always recommend just washing your dolls as you normally would before doing any further treatment, because it might not be necessary. Sometimes they haven't been starting to break down too long, or maybe they're sticky just from hair product. So they're not always immediately sticky because of that. There could be other factors. So just wash them normally and see what happens. So I honestly didn't think I was going to be able to continue this tutorial. because, as you can see, the Katie who is the worst of the three ended up not having much of like a greasiness or a tackiness to the outside of her face. And I also looked at the Jodies and they improved. Even the coloring is better, I think, because some of the dye had leaked from the hair. So I was like, there's nothing really to show. I want you guys to actually notice a difference. But I had my suspicions. She was really bad, and I'm like, there's just no way she was that bad, and she's all of a sudden miraculously better. The inside of her head is sticky. And you might be thinking that's because you're squishing the plastic. No, I stuck my hand in there, it's sticky. And this is another Katie as an exemplar. One of the unaffected ones from the pack. Nothing. If you have the same issue with the inside of the head being really sticky, whether it's from glue or decay, or if the outside of your doll is still sticky, then this is what you do. This is warm water. I just washed dishes, so the water was really hot. And you're gonna take a pretty generous amount of OxiClean. Like, this comes in a little scoop. I'm gonna put like, you know, about half a scoop. Mix it up. So it's like nice and dissolved. That's why it needs to be warm. Then you're gonna place your doll, accessories, whatever, in the water. And I'm going to make sure it goes in her head. And this isn't going to affect her hair because, again, if her hair was sticky from decay, this will help that as well. Now, if that was the case, if her hair was sticky from decay, I'd recommend combing the OxiClean through a few times. But for her, it's literally just the inside of her head. And I'm going to let her soak for a few hours. She's not super, super sticky on the inside, and the outside of her face feels mostly fine. So I'm not going to soak her overnight, but for really bad dolls, you're going to want to soak them overnight and change the water and the OxiClean. You might need to repeat this a few times to really take care of the stickiness if you notice that they just have a lot of buildup. For example, my Generation Girl, My Room, Tori, and Mari dolls, if you're familiar with the way those dolls are packaged, all around their bodies is literally like a cellophane plastic encasing, and because they were boxed for so long, that made their legs like super goopy, and I had to soak them a few times in this to get rid of it all. Keep in mind that you might need to repeat it and let them soak for a long time. If they're really sticky, change out the water, and I'll be back when Katie's done. And I do want to say I did flat iron her and everything because I thought that I wouldn't need to continue this treatment. So I let Katie soak for a few hours, maybe like 4 or 5. Then I pulled her out and I washed her hair and her face really good. You want to make sure you do that with like soap and water, and you can hear that she's improved a lot. Like, if you really squish, you can hear a little tackiness, but when you stick your finger in there, there's no more adhesive or goopiness, which is great. Katie is all dressed up and reassembled. Before I close out this video, I do want to say that the best thing you can do for dolls that are starting to decay, that are getting sticky, is keep them in a cool, dry place. So like for me, the dolls that I store downstairs in my basement, they do really well because it's cool down there. It's not usually too humid or anything. And I've noticed that even without any sort of treatment, they do improve over time. If you don't want to try this treatment out, or you don't feel like trying alternative treatments out, and you'd kind of rather let the doll do its own thing, you can. You can put them in a cool, dry place, and you will start to see improvement. It will take some time. The best advice that I can give is that just make sure you're routinely brushing out their hair if they have the problem in their hair, or if they have it on their legs or their faces. Just make sure to kind of routinely wash them off with soap and water to kind of get rid of any buildup, and you will see improvement, because that's what I did for many years before I figured out like something that actually took it away in one go. I had dolls that were boxed for a long time, like one of my Day to Night Barbies, one of my Twirly Curls Barbies. They had sticky hair, sticky faces, the works, and just from keeping them downstairs in the basement and, you know, checking in on them and washing them every once in a while, you wouldn't even know that they ever had that problem. So I hope this could help you out, and until next time, love your dolls, love yourself, and live your life.